Sorry, it's my voice is audible now. It's my voice is audible. Is it my voice is audible now? Just give a quick comment whether it is audible for all. Okay, we start our session as soon as possible. Okay, so because we're going to do some of the work and we're going to learn that. Okay, so we just see that. It's okay. So yesterday I say like something like we see about some of the concepts, right? So based on the concept, right now we're going to see about some of the logics that how something is existing. Some of the people asked me like how we connect with the backend with the front end and how to work with the backend and front end, and some of the logic usually it comes right when you are working with the when you are usually working with the friends, and they already have a doubt how we are connecting this front end with the back end, and how is this any special tool is needed to connect, something like that. We have a doubt, right? So that is going to be get rid from today. So and also we see about some like how personally I don't going to teach about entire thing about DOM operations and DOM elements, how to create an element, all those. I just going to tell about how DOM functionality, like where we are going to use this DOM functionality and all. We're just going to see about, right? Just a minute. I think let's give a minute. My screen is bull. Okay. After that we just get okay. So after that we just give a minute. Okay. Just a minute. I just put a message for my. Okay. So if you have any doubt from the previous classes, you can just ask now. Okay. Okay, so it is going to be a quick yes, I've been I had it. Okay, so it's going to be a quick section. I think hope that if you are familiar with the previous class, you can able to catch up with me. You can able to understand what I'm telling, and we just going to see about the logic behind the Facebook. Not only Facebook, like every social media, the logic behind that. Okay. So in this session to get clear, like for example, if you get clear what you get, just a minute. Okay, so we just continue the work and we will start. Okay, so what I'm going to do, shall we create a Visual Studio Code, right? We just go and work with the Visual Studio Code and do, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I just going to create a folder. Okay, so hope that you don't want to introduction for Visual Studio Code and all, right? So I just simply name this as social. Okay, so let me go here and open with the code. This is something Visual Studio Code. So I think most of you know about Visual Studio Code, right? So how many of you know Visual Studio Code? Just if you know Visual Studio and all the basic stuff, it's fine. But if you don't know, this is not for you. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so I just create and find that named as index.html. That be my or HTML file, and we create something style.css. This is going to be a style CSS file, and app.js. Okay, so whatever the name you want to give, you can give, right? So this is according to you. So I'm creating some basic folder and just be going to work with some of the concept. That is why I'm here. Okay, so that is the main reason. How many of you know or everybody knows Studio Code? If no one want to explain about it, if you don't know HTML and CSS, please comment right now. Okay, if you know already, it is fine. Okay, so right now what I have done, I just created HTML a page for a page for JS page for CSS. So I'm going to be the structure and CSS is going to be and app is going to be the JS. Okay, so we are not much focused on HTML and CSS. We more focus on the app.js because this is a JS class, right? Okay, let us consider we just create boilerplate. Okay, so we just create boilerplate, and what we can name this? We can name this Tech Baba, right? We can name this Tech Baba. Okay, I think the man who lives regularly, Tech Baba Social, something like this. Okay, so this is our website we're going to have, and I just going to create something called as an H1. Sorry, I just going to create something called as H1. So here I just going to as Tech Baba, something like this. Okay, so something like this. Okay, so and after that what I'm going to do, I just to create okay, so I do, and inside the just going to name name this ID. I just going to give some IDs. I will explain what I'm doing. Okay, so please bear with me, and at the end you will note this. Just name this as post. Okay, whatever you want, you can say. You know about what is ID, what is HTML, what to do, everything. I think you know that, right? So if you know, just give a comment. Yes, I know soon. Okay, so that's it. What I'm going to do, I just go for. I have an that is called open server. Live server is here and our channel is here. Very good, right? So this is going to be our web, what we're going to code. Okay, so after that, just give a minute. I will set up the studio. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so this is all about, right? So this style, right now I want to add a style, right? So for that, what I'm going to do, I just going to link the CSS, and I think everyone is familiar. Okay, so I just going to say like something like that, what or the h1. So I just going to style the h1 tags. Okay, instead of h1 you can give an ID. Okay, it's pretty good, and whatever you want you do. I just using with the main, you want a class, everything can give. Okay, so I just call the ID like this. I just using the styling like background color going to be little bit gray, something, and I just say like something like height is going to be like something with 40 pixels. Okay, it is not CSS class, that's why I'm fast, but it is going to be very interesting today. Okay, so I just going to say like, okay, so I just going to say text alignment center is going to be center, and I just do this. You can see we created a thing. Okay, that is fine. And what I think, I just want to remove the default styling and all. Okay, so I just going to add something called this, and this is select the universal selector, and I just going to read from the margin 0, and I just going to set this as box sizing is going to be border box. Okay, it will be helpful. Okay, something like this. Okay, it is a little bit good and neat. Okay, so fine with that. And if you want to add some other styling, you can add that. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do, I just going to work with some of the Instagram posts. Okay, let I develop. For example, we see about database, right? So what is a database? So like for example, if you go for Facebook and you click like add a post, right? So if you click the add post, you have the option like you can add the image, you can add the text, you can add hashtags and so on thing, right? So after you clicking the button, what would happen for the database, and it is stored in a database. So what the database they are using, for example, in case of SQL, it is going to be a structured database. In case of MongoDB, it is going to be a JSON format, something like that. Okay, so in the end, what we get a data like it is going to be an array. Okay, so I just go get data. So I just going to say const database. Okay, so const database something like this, and this is what. So this is where our database is going to be for posting something, and if you are something, you are commenting something, everything go and store in a data. So I'm mimicking that. Okay, so I just creating a database. In that I just create an what this is called an object. So inside an array, I just created an object, just going to say like name. So who is posted that? So I just going to say a person named what we can say, the person named, I think Srihari is there, right? So I just go for Srihari. So he's posting from Facebook. So it's fetched, and sorry, his name is, and what is he's posting? He's posting something like, I just say description, and he's something like I love the develop. I love to become and developer, become and developer. Okay, so I need a full stack roadmap. Anyone can guide me, something like this. So this is the post he is doing. Okay, so this is the post he is doing. So it is go, and it is stored in a database, so we have access to that. Okay, so this is something back end. Okay, I'm just creating that, and user, and I think newly come, this is Ajay Shani is here. Okay, so I just going to create and post in the name of him. Okay, just going to say like something like Ajay. His name is Shani. Ajay Shani is here, right? His name is Shani, and he is saying, I like to become an DevOps engineer and would like to have and DevOps roadmaps, something like this. Okay, something like this is how this is one person's post. This is another person's post. Okay, so this is how everything will look. So what I did is going to be in the index of 0, and this is going to be index of 1. So likewise, our every data is going to be structured. Okay, so likewise, our every data is going to be structured and everything is stored. So this is the database. Okay, and next thing is what I'm going to do. I just going to add for this something called as database. So where our information is going to be there, and this information is going to be displayed in our browser. Okay, so this information, what it's going to do, it's going to display in our browser. So before that, I need to check so whether coming user an authenticated user, or for example, you already sign in or not, and you entered your email and password correct or not. I need to check, right? So for that, I just going to create another database. So this is also stored in a database. Okay, so your information like your name, your path, this is also stored in a database in a column. Okay, so for that, I just say const I just going to say just create a const, and I just say client. So these person or something called as client, and this is something called as data. This is also going to, and where all your information like sensitive information like your name, your password is going to be stored here. So I just going to give a name. So I just going to say like think about like I'm the person who is going to be access that. So I just going to say Harry, and the next thing is what I just going to say a password. So the what is the password I am giving is like 1234. Okay, in the old terms we give 1234. If a person name with Harry and 1234 is come, then what would happen? This data is want to display in my browser. Same like if you are signing into the, what would happen? You give your email ID and password. It goes for the database. It whether the database is available, if the data is correct or not. One thing is completed, then what would happen? It will send. See whether my voice is audible for all. It's any breaking is here. You are facing any breaking? No, right? I think no. Okay, so this is how happened. So once you sign in, you will see all the database, like all the post put by some other persons. Okay, I'm going to do. So this is the person name, and this is light. Okay, I think. Okay, so right now you here. Okay, so what I do? So the logic. So a person username Hari and the password 1234. If it is correct, then it want to display in my browser. Okay, so that is the logic. Okay, so that is logic behind Facebook, right? If you're logging to someone else, if you with your username and password, you can able to see what all are the new posts coming in Instagram, Facebook, something like that. So that is what I create. So what I'm going to create is going to create a function for this. Okay, so function, and I just say is valid. I'm going to check is valid is going to be the function, and I'm going to pass two parameter. One is the user, as for the password. So if the user and password is correct, if the user and password is fetched correct, then this should be go. Okay, what is going to happen? For example, I just going to add. So this is what we have yesterday discussed, like if something like that, right? Just going to say if the given username, is triple equal to, and what is this? Client, right? So username is triple equal to client dot name. So what is mean by client dot name? So sorry for the disturbance. So client dot name. So the client dot name is nothing but, so you can, if you want to add this in an array also for different users. If you have more number of users, you can add. Okay, so I just going to this in an array. So instead of doing this, I just going to say 0. So why I'm putting 0? Because right now we have only one user only. So consider we have only one user for this app. If you have more user, you can add that. For example, Steve Hari and his password, like that. Okay, so what is client? So this is the client, and right now it is in an array. This is in the 0th index, and I go for the 0th index, and if the name means, you can see name, so Hari, right? So if the given name is Hari, then this would be become true, right? So this condition is going to become true. And next, what I'm going to do, I want to check the password. So why I'm putting this two ampersand sign? Because true ampersand sign is nothing but it is going to be like something, it check both the side is becoming true or not. Okay, so if anyone is becoming false, it will not allow the code to run. If both the value, if the both the condition, it will allow. Okay, so I just going to say pass. Okay, so pass, and I just going to say like this, instead of copy, I just copy this and paste here the password. So password, if the given name, if the user, you can see this is the user, if whatever the argument we are giving that is equal to Hari, then this is become true. Okay, so and the password, whatever the password we are giving that is equal to 1234, then this condition is also true. So if both become true, this return a single true. Okay, so which means it will execute the code, otherwise it will not. For example, I just console.log, and here we can go like something like we can say like use comma pass, something like user comma pass. So what I'm going to do, I just going to call this. So I just going to call the function. I just say valid function, and here we can use something like Hari, and we give password 1234, something like this. So if I do this, and if I go here and just click the inspect, and you can see and called console. If we go here, okay, so we can see like 1 2 3 is paused. Hari, check with the data, and so something like instead of calling the argument, like is something like we can say like validated, valid is valid, something like this. Okay, if I run this, you can see this is not working. So then we are doing some mistakes. So like we have done, so it is going to be the client 0, and it's equal to the name of the name, and this is going to be the password. So if I pause this, just a minute. Where is the console, guys? So whenever I'm working with the restream, the console will get stopped doing like this. Okay, so if I go for the client, and I just going to name this as client for, okay, so it is going to be a triple E. I think it's not a problem with the triple equal to sign. If I just run this, what it's asking for this, I don't want. If I run this, so I'm just going to say like, for example, is valid is going to be the for else it's going to pause. Let's debug it, like, okay, so let's debug it, not valid, something like this. And I just going to say like put this. Okay, if I run this, even this is also not something problem with that. So function is valid is going to be the function, and username password is, and what is the difference? Close this, go here, open with the browser, open with the live server. Okay, inspect. Live server is loaded. So I'm the bloody mistake I have done is I don't add this app.js to my HTML, right? So that is the mistake. So okay, so I just want to add the script.sh, and I just want to add the app.js. So this is how you know. Okay, so I forgot to do that, right? So you can see it is valid is print. Okay, so valid is print, which means the given username is equal to this condition is also become true, and this condition is also become true, which means both the condition becomes true, which means this code is going to write. Okay, so whatever the code you need to say what is the user, and you need to say me what is the username, and the next thing is you need to say what is the password. Okay, so like user and pass. Okay, so I want to call those arguments. So what are the argument I am passing? So if I done this, if I try to run this, you can see Harry 123. So this is the argument I am passing. So it is pass the test. Okay, right now if the user is authenticated, it will be displayed like this. So if the user is not authenticated, it need to give me an alert. Okay, so alert, I just want to say user is not found, something like this. I give a wrong password like Harry, and instead of 1234 I just give 123. If I run this, you can see user is not found is that because the username I entered and the password I entered is different, right? So that is why the else code is working. Okay. So I will just click the OK. So a minute, why? Okay, something like it's disturbing me. Okay, so that is why. Okay, so this is, and here what I going to do, if the user is, if we logged in perfectly, then what should it do to come? It should be display. Okay, so it should be display our answer, right? It should want to display our answer. So for that, what I going to do, I just going to say like I just going to first we discuss where to display. So I need to display inside this. Okay, so I need to display inside this. Okay, so before that, okay, so I need to display inside this div, example inside the post. So for that I just need to use the DOM operations. Okay, so I remove the style.css. I just going to say, so for the DOM I just say let post list post is equal to document dot get element by id. What does this mean by document dot get element by id? This is actually called DOM. So a DOM is nothing but, and you can able to access the element in HTML and you can able to manipulate that. So purpose only we have DOM. Okay, so right now I am accessing the element based on their ID. So that's why I mentioned it's document dot get element by. So you can able to access by their name, you can access by their class, you can access by their tag, and there are so many options is that to access. Okay, so right now in this entire work I is going to access this by ID only. Okay, so what is the ID I given for this div? Post, right? So the ID given for here is post. Okay, and I access this entire tag and I stored it in a variable. Right now if I console log it, you can see that console log post. If I do this, if I go for my console, you can see that the entire whatever the tag I accessed, it will be displayed here. You can see the div ID post, nothing inside is it's accessed. So which is literally this tag. So this tag is what we have access. Okay, so what I want, so after accessing, why I'm accessing this means, so inside the div I need to show the data, like who someone is posting something, right? So I need to show that, like for example Sri Hari is posting like I love to become a developer and all, and Ajay is posting I to become a DevOps, I need a DevOps roadmap, something. So I need to post that. So how can I post that? So for that you need to add the element to the DOM. So how can we do that? So let I explain how can we do that. For example, I just going to say like uh, post dot inner HTML equal to, and I just have backticks. So in the older, in little bit fewer before the template literal has been introduced, we need to do a big thing by using called as vanilla JavaScript. By using, we need to we need to use text node and everything, some blah blah things. Okay, so the after this template literals, we can able to do this very easily. Okay, how can I do that? So whatever I want inside this, so I need a h1 tag, right? A h1 tag, I need to display the name of the person. So here you can see the person here is Sri Hari and Ajay Shani, right? So I want to display the name of the person, and the next thing is what I want, I need to display the description. They are writing, I need to display. So I need to display it in a paragraph tag. So here it is going to be the name, and here it is going to be the description. Okay, so these three things is I want, and I just want to wrap this by another div. Okay, so I just going to cut this. I just going to paste it here. So in the div, I just going to give an ID here. So I just going to mention this ID is going to be an item ID. Okay, so that's something called as item. Okay, so this is going to be add. So if I add this, you can see this. You can see this a name and description is there. So in name, what we add the Srihari name, which is in the database, and in the description we need to add there what posting we need to add. So how can we do that? So for that, I just simply cut it down. You can notice that nothing right now, nothing inside. If I save, you can see nothing inside, right? So I go for .js, and what I'm going to do, I just go inside this template and template leader. So you can access to everything $, curly braces. So in the curly braces, you can access. So you can see database, and it is in the 0th index. The 0th index name is Srihari, right? So that is what I'm going to say. I say database, it is an array in the 0th index dot name. Okay, so what it is going to fetch? It is going to fetch the Srihari name, and it is going to fetch the description. What next I want? I just want the description. So for fetching the description, what I'm going to do, I just remove this description, and inside this I can this something like database, and the same 0 section dot name. Instead of name, we need to use this description. Okay, so I am accessing this element. Okay, so after I just running this, you can see like the database, 0 name, 0 description, post inner HTML. Wait a minute. We just do one thing. We just add another h1 to the post one. This is going to be h1. Okay, something like, okay, we need to give a correct index. Okay, something like this, and I just going to say like post the tag, and here I just want to see as a post number 1. Something. If I save this, you can see post 1 is displayed. Srihari, I love to become a developer is displayed, right? So thank you coding aqua man. Okay, so I'm going to create and post for you too. Okay, so this is actually right. So this is we have created, and this is going to be the database, and we have access only one thing, right? I entered manual accessing. Okay, so we don't want manual accessing, because you can see and another data is there. 𝐏𝐚𝐫𝐭𝐢𝐜𝐚 is posting, and 𝐏𝐴𝐚 is posting, right? So I want to access everything. So how can I do that? Note this, we are in an array, right? So we can use the concept here and to do that. Okay, so how can I do that? For example, I just go and cut everything here, and I just going to paste here. Okay, like this, and it's there. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do, if the username and password is there, if the username and the password is there, what I want to do, I just want to loop through it, because I want to go for the entire database, and I want to show the entire post. So just think about that. If you are and you are watching only one post, so it is that, right? So if you go for Facebook or Instagram, if you scroll down, you have to come multiple things, right, to display. The same like this, we need to display all the database which is stored in the post, that we need to display. Same ways I'm going to display that. So accessing that, in the last class we have discussed a for each loop, right? I just going to use the for each loop. So what I'm going to do, first, for using the for each loop, you need to call the array first, and I just call this and for each. Okay, and inside this you need to call a function, and inside the function you need to call, that is 3 parameters there, and the first parameter is going to be the item parameter. So after the item parameter, what I'm going to be the And right now, if I say item, this is going to be the item. So this is the first item, and this is going to be the second item. Okay, so this is going to be the first item, this is going to be the second item. So what I'm going to do, right now we are in the first item. Okay, so right now we are in the first item. What I'm going to do, I just going to right now, if right now whatever the post we have, I just go. So instead of this, we go for console list. Okay, we see console.log, and here what I'm going to do, I just going to for item. Okay, if I simply call the item, you can see that 𝐏𝐻𝐻𝐸 and I love to become a developer will come, and after that you can notice that Ajay and I allow to become an DevOps, I need to become engineer will come. Okay, if I go for my inspect, go for the console, you can see. So this you can notice 𝐏𝐻𝐻𝐸 and I developer is there. Developer. So right now using the loop, we are doing that. Okay, so we don't want this. We need to display our page in our page in our website, right? So how can I do that? So for doing that, we just paste everything here. Okay, so we just copy here and we just paste here, and I just going to remove that all. Okay, and I just going to remove. Okay, so right inside the post fetched, and instead of this database hard coding to that, whatever the item I am fetching, this is going to be the item. So I'm going to say item dot name. Okay, so if I say item dot name, first it goes for the 𝐏𝐻𝐻𝐸's post, and it type the 𝐏𝐻𝐻𝐸 name, and it's going to be the, and after the loop completes, it's go and type the Ajay, go and repeat the process. Okay, so I just go say dot something like what you can say this, right? So description, right? So this is the right. So save error, where's the error? Okay, I did some. Where is the error? Where is the error? It is showing the error. Yeah, I don't close it. Close this. Okay, so I just going to say item dot this, something like this. If I save this, you can see post one Isani and I want to become a developer, but it is not showing what it is not showing. It is not showing the first of, right? So what happened? Just a minute, I will check. Let me check it. A minute, I just run this in. This is going to be here. This is going to be here. Okay, it's going to loop away. It's that the item, right? So if I go for the console.log, I just say item. Okay, I just go and click the inspect element and for my console. One and this, just a minute. With this, so open with live server. So what happened? What happened for 𝐶L's post? Let's say happens for post. So right now we're in the 0x. Right now, if I remove this, if I remove, okay, we will put it again. So no, okay, so it will be displayed here, and after that it need to display another div too, right? So it does need to display another div, that is going to be, and another div is going to be here. So I just going to copy this and I just going to paste it here, something like this. Okay, if I run this, okay, instead of here I just going to say like what we have did Ajay, right? Ajay, and is going to be and coding academy, something like this. Okay, so we can make something different. Okay, right now it is come for coding academy, like it is going to be say full stack. I just going to see DevOps, and it is going to be front end. It is going to be so to know about the different. Okay, so that is why I'm creating the code. Okay, so it is showing like you can guide me DevOps. Okay, so it is only, which means it is not adding that. So instead of this, okay, I just want to put this plus sign. If I put this plus sign, so what happened? It will do, bro. Voice is trucking. Hey, whether audible for all, just give a comment, guys. Guys, is my voice is audible for all? Right now it is right now my voice is audible. Right now I'm asking right now, not before. Okay, so what I did means, so this is what is meant by post. The post is nothing but the where I fetched here, right? So yes, okay, so where I fetched the div, right? So this is the post, and inside this post, what I'm looping through this database. I'm looking through the database, and I'm posting the name, and I'm posting the thing, everything, and I say like plus. This is something like we assignment operator. We see something called as assignment operator, and we will posting everything. So for what this for each loop will going to do, the for each loop, it goes for the and every element in an array. So first it goes for Hari's post, and I say if you go for C post, please fetch the please fetch that Hari, the name of the person and description of the portion, right? So description of the portion, and you need to display here. And after that, the loop done this work, then it's go for move on to the next one. So and after that, I'm asking for right now it is in Ajay. So it go and fetch the Ajay's one, and it is go for description. And likewise, whatever the data you are entering, it is go and fetch. Okay, so that is how it's all work. Okay, so this is how you can see right now what we have created. We have created authenticated. For example, if someone enters wrongly like this, if someone enters a wrong password, if I just simply like this, if I refresh this, you can see nothing is there. So right now what I'm going to do, I just going to remove this. If I refresh this, you can see username is not found. So this is something what you are seeing Facebook, right? Facebook or any Instagram, like username not found, please forget your password, some other logics, right? So this is something like, so if you entered your name correctly, like something like 1234, if you entered this right now, you can able to see all the posts, right? So right now you are feeling like this post is little bit messy, right? So how can we arrange this? So it is like same like the same CSS what you are doing, you can arrange this. For example, I just going to arrange this. Okay, so I just going to give for the ID, I just give to that something like name. Okay, I just going to give the name, and inside here I just going to give and post. We can give like this, something like this. So I give that. So I just go for the CSS, and we can align that. So same like this. For example, right now what we need to align, we need to align this post tag, right? So I just going to align the post. So I just going to say like we have done something great, right? Something like main, where we have main actually. So we have main for this h1 tag, right? So what I going to do, I just going to align a beautiful body, and I just going to say like background color is going to be like something like fi, and something like this, and just go for a little bit coloring. Okay, it is going to be a little bit darker. Okay, I will explain like how we can code this. Okay, so right now I will explain. Please give 2 to 3 minutes, I will explain it. Okay, so I will complete the CSS very quickly within 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, so right now what I want, so I just want the post tag, right? So I just copy this, just go for here, and I just say like something like post, and I just going to say like a display is going to be a flex, display is going to be a flex, and it's going to be like justify content is going to be center. Okay, so and align items, it's going to be center. So I think this is all about CSS, guys. And if you don't know, please watch our tomorrow's bootcamp is there. Okay, please watch that. Okay, so and I just going to say like display direction, like flex direction. Flex direction is going to be column, it will be good. Okay, CO column. Okay, it should be good. And right now what I'm going to do, I just going to say like something like and what is the div. So right now I want to style this. So how can I style this? You can style this by using the div name. So the div, what is the id? We have item, right? So I just going to add this like something like item, and I just going to say like something like width is going to be 50 pixel. Width is going to be 50. It is come here, and I just going to say like something like what we can say like a little bit border. Okay, so let's just go for border. I just giving a decent styling, guys, don't get offended. It is an css class. Okay, so I just solid and little bit black to attract. Okay, and I just going to say something like something like margin bottom is going to be 20 pixel, and I just want to be like width and margin, and I just want that text alignment is going to be just okay. We can name this text, not a text align. Yeah, it's going to be justified. And the next thing is, if I save this, you can see a decent styling, and I just say like background color, it's going to be something like this. It is pretty okay, something like this, and it is overlapping, right? So I just giving, instead of margin bottom, give margin all. Okay, it is doing great, right? So 50 pixel, 50 pixel, and everything is there, and everything is aligned. And I just give padding, it's going to be like a 30 pixel padding. Okay, it will be good. Sri Hari is there, and his post is here, something like this. And we have add code academy is there, it is there, something like this. And we can give like and right now we will style this h1. Can I style this? We can use the name, right? So I just say like something like name, and I just going to say like a font size is going to be like something like 13 pixel, little bit smaller. Okay, so okay, it's even very smaller, 28 pixel. Okay, it is going to be good. And text alignment, text align is going to be center. Okay, it is going to be display the content in center, and this is how it works. Okay, so and I just give like something like margin bottom like 6 pixel. Okay, so I'm just give a decent styling for this, and that's it enough. And we can give like box a shadow, it's going to be 0 pixel blue. Instead of this, we can give like something like 8 pixel blue, something like great. It will be working great. Okay, so it is more than enough, it is more than one. Okay, animation transitions, whatever you want, you can add that. Okay, so whatever you want, you can add that. It is up to you. Okay, so right now we have created right now you can see this is what happening. Okay, if I just refresh this. Okay, so if I just go for here, and if someone calls this, if someone gives a wrong and input and all, it will not show that. Okay, so if you like email right correct password and all, if you go there, it will show this. Okay, so if I refresh this, you can see it will show this. And you can add this to a button also. So you can add a form, and you can fetch the value. Right now I give the value hard code, right, by using the button also. Okay, so you can fetch that value from like sign up form. You can create a form, and what you can able to do means you can just go and get the value, and you can use, if someone clicks this button, you need to give the alert box, the same functionality, nothing else, the same functionality. You just need to copy the function, and you need, okay, so the same functionality, nothing is there. And for example, if someone is posting an image, okay, if someone is posting an image like this, I just going to say, just go for unsplash. Okay, so I just go for unsplash, and you can see a free images there, like whatever we can say, like right, something like code. I just type code, let me get a decent image. Okay, what I'm going to do, I just going to have, and these are paid thing. I don't have money to pay. So this is what Srihari is posted. Okay, something like this. So what I going to do? I just going to, either you can download it, or I just going to copy the image address. And what you can do? So where we are getting this information? We are getting this information from the database, right? So I will going to explain that how the backend and front end is getting connected. Okay, let bear with me. So I just, what we can add? We can add an image. Okay, something like this. And what we can add? We can add this image here, something like this. You can put the image. Okay, right now, then what you can add? You can just copy this, and you can, if you want to add for Ajay, you can add this. You can add this. And if you don't want to add for Code Academy, leave that. Okay, so then what I'm going to do? And here inside this, you can add an image tag. Okay, something like this, right? A self-closing image tag. Okay, so then what you need to do? In SRC only, you define what image you're going to render. So in SRC, you need to, okay, what you need to give? You need to access this. You need to, we don't want this. You need to access this. You need to access which one? Item.image1, item.img1. And I just going to give the name image, something like this. And I just going to say alternative, and I just give alternative here, like free image, something like that. Whatever the alternative name you want to give, you can give. Okay, so likewise you can give. Okay, so if I give that, and I just go for the CSS, just wait for a minute, and I just go for the CSS, and I just say image, and it's going to be like height. It's going to be like something like 120 pixel, 120, sorry, 120 pixel. And it's going to be width, it will be like something like 20 pixel. Let's see. Okay, so it is not showing. So we have an error. Where we have an error? Where, which page, which number? So here in the description, because of we don't put this comma. Okay, so that, if I run this, if I glitch this, and you can see an image is showing that this is because of the 20 pixel going to be 20%. Okay, so instead of 20%, we make this to 50%. Okay, because we will adjust to this, and we can make this to something like 80%. Okay, so, and you can name this like display. It's going to be block level. Okay, and I just going to say like margin is going to be auto. It will come to the center. You can see the first two thing, you have an image, and last one, it says like it is broken. Why broken? Because in app.js, we only have the image. We only have the image of these peoples, but we don't have the image of this person. So then what happened? It will give a broken image, and it will sorry guys, sorry for the delay. Okay, so I think I go with the backend, right? Sorry for the issue happened right now. Okay, sorry for this. So what I say, like, how can we do that, right? So how this web applications and everything is working. So what happen if you go for a website and if you give your data, right? So you are giving your data, and what happened, we will send the data, like what is your name and what is your image, the image you are posting, what is the description you are giving, what is the tag you are giving. It is, yeah, so yeah, the tech issues happened, sorry for that. So okay, so everything will be sent to the database, so I just mimic the database. Okay, so after sending the database, we get something that is called as API. Okay, so we have separate APIs and they have some separate code, that, and we have something called as API, something, we have some set of data. Okay, so we have the database, and if for example you are working with some Google map. Okay, so Google map data is nothing but it is an array. Okay, so in the array it gives all the information. Okay, you can, by using this information, by using several information, how we created a decent front end, the same likewise we created. Okay, first we created overview for front end, and after the logic has been written by the backend team, and what we did, we will redo our work. Okay, we will redo our work. So this is actually what you are seeing in the Facebook. Okay, so this is actually the code behind any website. Like if you want to create some any other websites, anything that is this is how it works. Okay, so a database is there. So here you can see a database, right? So this is going to be the database, and but instead of database, what would happen, we have a separate database like MongoDB, MySQL, like that we can access from the database. We don't want to create right now, I manually created something, right? So that is stored always. Okay, so if I want to show you the SQL database, it is possible. mm, Something called as it is not possible, sorry, because I want to launch the server and all. Okay, so for SQL database, so that is fine. Okay, no problem that. And here you can see this is something called as authentication. So this is database is used to store some data, and by whatever the data you are giving, that is going to store, and you can take the data and you can view it, like, and how user can see it comfortably and beautifully, right? So that is what you have to done. And another thing is called, like, in the same database you have a separate column for the user clients. For example, right now I am the only one user for this application. Okay, so that is why if anyone who enters the name and the password correctly will have access to see this. The same like this, if you have more thing, like for example Srihari is login and someone is login, what would happen, a separate thing is happen. Like for example, like this. So instead of name, we can name this as like Srihari, something like this. And whatever the password he giving, like Hari at 3452, something like this. So whatever the password he is given, and this is to be stayed. And how we access the same database, the same thing only, we go and work with the computer, we using some of the logics, and what we see whether the user is exist or not. If the user is exist, and you need to get into the other page, so that other page is coming in the backend. Okay, so usually what you are working in the backend, this is okay. So what you're working with the front end is nothing but whatever the logic I have entered, right? So these every logic is going to be in the front end, and you can see the alert prompt. If someone is not there, you are giving some of the alert and all, and these functions, and some creating DOM object, like how you are adding this. Like you can see, it is an array, like it's just an array. I don't add anything hard coded. Like you can see, it is still an empty, nothing is inside that. Okay, nothing is inside that. Everything is added by using JavaScript only, right? Everything is added by using JavaScript only. Where is an error, I will, oh yeah, here is that. Okay, so everything is accessed by this JavaScript only, right? So JavaScript only, adding the element, adding the image, adding the description. If you click something, it will go something, everything will be do by the JavaScript. So this is the only thing from my side I just want to tell to you. So this is all about front end and back end. So now I think, hope you get an clear understanding about how the front ends and how the back ends works, right? So there is no interlinking, like any tool is used to interlink the front end and back end. So this is the structure, like database is there, authentication is there, whatever we want, we just go and grab all the information. And for front end, we create a simple beautiful website, like a beautiful website that's useful for the client. And for the back end, what we do, we just do and logic, like what the logic. For example, if you are creating a sign up form and the user entering his name and password, you click this, it redirect to some page, right? So that redirection, like it redirection, it is redirected, but not like an anchor tag. It is take the information and redirecting, right? So that is routing concept. That is all done by this backend concept. So everything is interlinked, and at the end everything is handled by the data. So whatever data you are giving, it is go and store in place, and by using the data, we are stored in a format. In JavaScript, we mostly use JSON format. Okay, so by using the JSON format, is pretty much related to this objects and array syntax. Okay, so we can use the object and array syntax, and you can able to fetch that. Okay, so first we need to convert all those things. That is completely different backend concept. Okay, so this is all about JavaScript, and this is got it. Anna, thanks, na. Oh yeah, sorry. So this is an English class. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much. And this is all about, if you have any doubts, that's it. So why I am teaching this class even within 1 hour, it is not possible. Okay, so I am go like in rocket speed. If anyone not understand anything, means sorry for that, just rewatch it, it will be easy. Just think about it, whatever the syntax we are using, what all are the syntax, what all are the logic we are using. We only use a function, we only use a conditional, and we only use the looping concept, and that's it. We will create an array to understand how the array work, and an object to understand how the object work. So these all the topics we are working for the past four days, right? So these are all the topics we have covered for the past 4 days. So only by using the topics, Tech Baba is available, I think, right? We created a beautiful social media app for Tech Baba, and you can create another by using Flexbox. You can create an profile photo for something like you need to show, and here you can create a story. The same logic, everything is the same logic, nothing, because okay, I just give an example for that. Okay, so by using that, you have an understanding and how this functionality works and how this is behind, like how the node and how all this work, right? So I think Tech Baba will be happy by creating this name. All of you will be happy, right? So this is how we are creating, and every information is different for every. Right now I just created a manual database, right? So that is why everything is same. So whatever the information you are giving, that is stored inside that, and it is fetched to someone else who is searching related to that topic. It will be displayed. Okay, so if you understand this topic, you can able to go and work with the full stack development projects. I can definitely suggest you. Okay, so you can understand that, but not everything. Okay, don't just think about the don't thinking like a false accumulation, like I'm familiar with full stack developer. There are a lot more to learn. Okay, in full stack development, keep learning. That is from my side. And another announcement from my side is tomorrow is going to be a 3 hours of bootcamp is going to be there, where if you don't know about HTML and CSS, and also if you don't know about something called as JavaScript, we're going to cover a little bit only JavaScript, like what is the basic functionality and history of JavaScript only, and we cover up HTML and CSS entirely. If you are interested, if you want that, you can attend that. This is going to be 3 hours bootcamp section, and also I give the forms right now for to fill. Right, this is for attendance form, not bootcamp form. It is attendance form. If you attend the bootcamp, for that bootcamp also you will get certification. Okay, we will provide you the attendance form same like this. I hope that everything will be good, and we have done everything good. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can ask. And the 1 more minute, because you need to fill that form. Okay, because the live is end, means we are not able to build that. So thanks for all. I am will be in this channel tomorrow. I am only going to take the 3 hours of bootcamp for HTML and JavaScript. I am going to take. Okay, so the next week, if you want to learn React.js from our founder Nabedu Biswa sir, he has a 16 years of experience towards this industry, and he is the corporate trainer. If you are go for any company, he will come and teach you there only. Okay, so he is going to teach you for free for React.js. Okay, so he is going to teach you. Okay, so I think hope next week you might get. So it depends upon sir, and we discuss about that. If you get that, don't miss that React.js opportunity. Learn from him. Okay, so after a week, we see you about in the last week. I going to take the React.js 5 days 5 project. I going to take. We see you there. I am also missing you guys. Okay, so bye. This is today. If you have any doubts, watch it again. Okay.